The markets opened up the week relatively flat as the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 are still only inches away from all-time highs. In this week's video, I'll be going over the returns from last week, as well as the disappointing May jobs numbers, as well as potential global tax reform that's coming out of the G7 summit. The four major U.S. indexes that we track here were all up between 0.5 and 0.7% last week, as the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and the Russell 2000 are all up double digits, as the Russell 2000 is still leading the way this year, up about 16%. And the Nasdaq was up about 0.5% last week, and now up about 7% as we're almost halfway through 2021. Now, foreign and emerging markets were also both positive, with foreign markets up about 0.1, where the emerging markets led the way, up almost 1.5%. And now foreign and emerging markets are both up almost the same, between 8.4 and 9.1%. There are a few data points that we wanted to pull out of the U.S. markets to review. First off, the S&P 500 has made monthly highs over the past 4 months, going back to February. The small cap sector has also increased over the past 8 months, and the Dow Industrials are up over 50% over the past 14 months. So while we haven't seen a lot of flashy returns recently, the US markets continue to make history. The May jobs numbers just recently came out, and they were underwhelming, as there were 559,000 jobs added to the economy in May versus the expectation that was 670,000. Now, the one piece of good news is that the unemployment rate did drop from 6.1% in April down to 5.8% in May. But we're still about 7.6 million jobs below pre-pandemic levels. We think that we'll continue to see the job market get better throughout the summer, as a lot of states said that they're going to be stopping the additional unemployment stimulus at the end of June. Also, mask restrictions are starting to ease across the country as more and more people are getting vaccinated, hopefully sending more of those people back to work. The second major news story came out of the G7 conference, where the major global finance leaders came to an agreement that they would put a minimum 15% corporate tax rate on large multinational companies that have a profit margin of 10% or higher. And this was mainly to be aimed at large tech companies so that they'll be paying their fair share of taxes in all the different countries that they do business in. Now, this is just a preliminary agreement between the G7 committee, which needs to then be taken to the G20 summit later this year before it can be made official. The biggest thing we're paying attention to this week is the inflation data on Thursday, and it's more important than usual as Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen recently came out and said that she actually supports rising interest rates to help combat an overheating economy. So we'll see if the Federal Reserve decides to finally recognize that inflation may be real. Thanks for tuning in today. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook.